got competitive tender, which is your full procurement process, and there's three main types of the way they can do that. There's an open tender, which is a one-stage process. Everybody bids, puts in their documents that Holly will talk to you about, and then the decision is made to use the best provider. There'll be a restricted process, which is a two-stage process where they'll sort of whittle people down and shortlist them, and who will go through to the next stage. And then a competitive dialogue, which you may get talked about, is where it's a new type of service, it's sort of innovative, and they need help from the providers in coming up with that specification.
You have to set aside time to do it. You have to do it properly. If you're going to do it properly. Allocate a project manager who's in charge of it, who's the person that's on the system. For example, Bravo. When there are a group of you bidding for a tender, everyone may find questions they've got to ask about the memorandum of information that comes out, the specification, service specification, and they will have to ask the commissioners what they mean by a particular point in those documents. When the commissioner answers them, they have to circulate it to everyone that's in the tender process. So there will be a question and answer pinging back between the commissioner and any people that are pitching for the work. And it's important that whoever's in charge and managing the project is in touch with that. Because if you've got any concerns yourself, you might find it's answered. It's also a very good way of you finding out if you've got some concerns yourself.
So it's about thinking more like a business, all of this. We can no longer just carry on expecting more income coming in and profits to continue rising. They've stagnated over the last 2 or 3 years, and we can see that starting now to drop off. And the accounts that we've looked at for 14 been okay. It's not been too bad. I think most practices have managed to maintain a fairly sort of stable, if nothing major has changed in terms of profitability. But from April 14 onwards, the big impact of these new contract changes and cash flow particularly is being affected.
Again, better understanding. If you close your practice for training, some practices I've been into, and I do get into a few practices apart from my own, they'll just have a sign up. You do your quest training and your mandatory training that the practices have to do. And there'll be a sign saying practice closed. But your patients don't know why. They just think, well, hang on a minute, why is my practice closed? You know, I know not all practices close. Bigger practices probably still keep some GPs there. But I know my practice is only a small practice. They close on Wednesday afternoon when it's training because they've not got the staff to keep it running like that. And so when there's training events, they'll put practice closed. But my practice will put, after some deliberation and the PPG mentioning it to them, practice closed due to staff training to enhance the care and treatment that you receive. And now patients are fine with that. Just that little extra sentence on the practice closed bit. Little things like that can make a big difference. So it helps the patient understand why the practice is closed. And they're a lot happier with why the practice is closed.
Significant event audit, which I think we used to do, and because it was good for us, then we did it because it was profitable. Now it's not profitable. Kind of just reminding us that it's a really useful tool. And it's designed to be quick and cheerful. But there is some evidence about how you run it with some key factors. And one of the things is that you run in a meeting to be chaired, otherwise you have a free-flowing download, but actually nothing happens as a result. So the sharp spins, nobody decides that the cleaner's always going to move them up. So you've got to have a chair, and you've got to have someone who decides the sort of actions. And then the other thing is, when you next have a significant event audit meeting, then you really need to review what you've done in the past, otherwise you constantly keep making the same mistakes.
I think what may be happening to some extent is there's a different fragmentation picture, which is all the little integration services or whatever of all different types, which themselves are now rather disjointed pieces of a jigsaw and need to be put together. And that's partly why there's a lot of work going on nationally about how you actually do integration at scale. You know, how do you actually integrate in a way that does make sense and doesn't result in a lot of individual initiatives, which may, as you said, really not be sustainable for various reasons. However,